Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. You ain't gonna like what you find when you be fucking about. So fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. Yeah, you ain't gonna like what you find when you were fucking about. Yeah, fuck around and find out. You tried it, bitch, fuck around and find out. You're full of it, yeah. You ain't gonna like what you find when you were fucking up. You ain't gonna like what you find when you were fucking up. You ain't gonna like what you find when you were fucking about. You messed with the wrong ass queen, bitch.
Fuck around.
Every now and then I get a little excited that you're gonna find out.
Fuck around.
Every now and then I get a little frustrated that you didn't listen to us at all.
Fuck around.
You're gonna get cut off from all your friends and family, and your coworkers will think you're a dick.
Fuck around.
It's hard to feel bad when you voted for the rights of millions of people away.
Fuck around and find out.
It's really fun to watch you fall apart.
Fuck around and
Find out. We were saying this shit from the start.
fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out. Fuck around and find out.
Hey ladies, welcome back to Somebody Come Listen to This podcast. I am your host, Nava. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Please help me get to 2K before the new year. That is my goal. And let's jump right into this video. So Trump supporters are still fucking around and finding out. And not just Trump supporters. It's like a lot of people, like whole companies, and just like it's a lot of stuff going on since the elections, and he is not even in office yet, but the laws that were in place are already being implemented in a lot of places. So it's not going to be good, ladies. That's why every time I talk to you, I want to warn you, if you have any sisters or friends that you can come together with and start learning how to grow gardens and how to prep, just how to look at prepping videos here on YouTube. They've been on here for decades showing people how they prep and how you can do it also. Look into getting bug out bags. Look into arming yourselves. And if you have teenage daughters, arm them also. And y'all can start going to the range together. Some people have been doing this for decades, and they, it's like their culture to teach their kids how to, survive, like grow food, how to shoot a gun. A lot of people have been doing this already, but as Black women, a lot of us are slow to the party. But I suggest you do that on top of buckling down on your birth control and figuring out your finances. A lot of people are taking their money out of banks right now. A lot of rich white people are turning their money into gold and silver, because that is a currency that never depreciates no matter what. So throughout history, gold and silver will always be valuable. So I say, when you see rich white men doing something, you should follow their lead. So let's get into these videos about the people who are still fucking around and finding out in this season. And I'll be right back after this.
One of my ex-coworkers voted for Trump, and she said she cannot wait for this whole abortion thing to go into plan. It's time for him to weed out the weak, and if you can't handle having a kid, then don't sleep with anybody. She is now pregnant by a Black man, and her family has removed her from the will. And they have been arguing on Facebook for the past 3 days. And the husband's trying to take the kids. Things are looking up.
fucked around with your vote? Now it's time you found out. Am I the asshole for cutting off my sons financially after they voted for Trump? I, 52 male, have two sons, Isaac, 22 male, and John, 20 male. My wife and I have always leaned left politically, and we've raised our kids to value equality, compassion, and critical thinking. We've had countless family discussions about politics and the impact of policies on people's lives. So you can imagine my shock when I found out after this last election that both of my sons voted for Trump. It came out during a casual family dinner when I asked, "So, who'd you guys vote for?" expecting them to either dodge the question or name one of the candidates aligned with our values. Isaac shrugged and said, "Trump. His policies just make the most sense right now." John chimed in, "Yeah, I mean, he's about protecting the economy. People like us need someone who gets that." I stared at them, stunned. "People like us?" I asked. "Boy, you've never paid for a single tank of gas, let alone rent or tuition. What exactly do you mean by that?" Isaac rolled his eyes. "Dad, I'm studying business. Trump's pro-business. It's not that deep." "It's plenty deep," I snapped. "You're backing someone who's gutted protections for the environment, undermined health care, and actively targeted marginalized communities." John shook his head. "You're just looking at the negatives. He's strong on immigration and keeping jobs here." The conversation spiraled into a heated debate. I couldn't understand how they, having grown up with every advantage I could provide, could support someone who champions policies that harm so many people. That night I thought about how much my wife and I had sacrificed to give them opportunities. I worked extra hours to cover their tuition so they wouldn't have student loans. I paid for their gas, car insurance, and even groceries. And this is what they choose to do with that privilege? A few days later, I told them my decision. "If you want to support Trump's policies, you should also live by them," I said. "From now on, you'll need to cover your own tuition, rent, and living expenses. Maybe then you'll understand the real-world impact of the policies you are endorsing." Isaac was furious. "Are you serious, Dad? You're just cutting us off because we disagree with you politically." "It's not about disagreement," I said firmly. "It's about accountability. You voted for someone who's against student loan forgiveness, so take out loans. You support someone who doesn't believe in raising the minimum wage, so get a job that pays what it pays and figure it out." John looked hurt. "You're being petty. This isn't how you change someone's mind." "This isn't about changing your mind," I replied. "It's about giving you a dose of reality. FAFO ain't just some cool hashtag you and your little friends use. It means there are consequences to your actions. Political choices have consequences. You're adults now. It's time to act like it. You fucked around with your vote. Now it's time you found out." My wife thinks I'm being too harsh. She worries this will damage our relationship with them long term. She said, "They're young. They're still figuring out their beliefs." "Beliefs have consequences," I told her. "They made a choice. Now they'll learn what that choice means." Some of my friends agree with me, saying it's a fair wake-up call. Others think I'm letting politics come between family and being unnecessarily cruel. So, am I the asshole for cutting off my sons financially because of their political choices? You know, you got a good point. I don't think you're the asshole. I think you're going to let them find out what they fucked around with, their vote. And voting has consequences.
Good morning and happy holidays to our MAGA Texans. Now, you thought we were being mean when we tried to tell you that we hoped you got everything you voted for. Just heard that your holiday gift is that you no longer get overtime. So when you work those extra hours, you'll be getting straight time away from your family, time away from your loved ones, straight time. Now us, liberal maniacs, we're up here in the blue states, and when we work extra hours and time away from our family and loved ones, we'll be making overtime pay. So I'm so happy you got what you voted for. I'm so happy. If I could put a big bow on that gift, I would. Happy holidays, Texas MAGA.
Hey, MAGA family, I appreciate it for y'all just reaching out to me because the black people just kicked me out of the community. They have canceled me. They say I'm not invited to no cookout. I can't come to nobody's house or nothing no more. They all calling me coon. They all calling me all these bad names. But one thing about the MAGA family, y'all been the ones that's been supporting me, making sure that y'all have my back, and also trying to put a cookout together for we all can come together and be a nation together. But it's just sad that the black people want to be racist and just come against me. My MAGA family don't do that at all. Everybody say the MAGA people are racist, but they are not the racist ones. They are the ones that's like there for me and supporting me. All y'all saying that I'm lost, but the MAGA people saying I'm not lost. They saying we doing the right thing and we bringing this country together. So I love you MAGA people, man. I love y'all. I embrace y'all. I appreciate y'all so much.
I didn't know about FAFO until recently, but do you know who's going to be experiencing an unfortunate case of it? Are the older boomers who voted for Trump, who didn't realize that Kamala Harris wanted to include home care as a Medicare paid service, meaning they could get qualified nursing care, respiratory care, all the different services that they want to get at home. Medicare would have paid for them. I've only cared for one patient who could afford proper in-home care. She was the grandmother of a billionaire. So they're gonna find out, and it's gonna fucking suck, and it's sad.
So my boss pulled me aside today. He just let me know that we will not be receiving our Christmas bonuses this year. And as a welder that already lives paycheck to paycheck, this is devastating. All because Trump is saying that he is going to enable tariffs when he is in office. Because even though we buy locally and we support small businesses local to us, those small businesses purchase materials that are from overseas, so they would have to pay that tax, meaning they have to increase their products. So when us as a company are purchasing products from them, we're going to be spending more, and therefore that is digging into our bonus money. However, he did say that we would be receiving a big raise next year, that because other businesses are going to be increasing their prices, we are going to have to increase our prices, so we will be making more money. However, that won't fucking matter because everything is going to go up in price, so that raise will literally mean nothing. And I have to sit here and just remember that this is not my lesson to learn. And for everyone else that is going to be experiencing this, who did not vote for Trump, keep that in mind. It is not our lesson to learn. However, we will just be suffering with everyone else.
You know, a week ago, I was one of those people that said to suffer in silence. Take it all back. I take it all back. Watching in real time, people discover, oh, I'm not getting a bonus this Christmas because of tariffs, because the company has to order as much as they can. Oh, you mean the Department of Education would directly affect my child's IEP plan? This was my favorite. This was my favorite. Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act are not the same thing. Oh, you mean the Republicans called it Obamacare to trip dumb people like me? Watching it in real time, I take it all back. I want you to suffer as loudly as you can. Yes, I'm going to be right there suffering with you, but I didn't vote for this. I didn't want this to happen, but now that it is, and now that you were gleefully celebrating your own demise, now that your demise is coming, I want to bathe in your agony. I want to revel in your cries of despair. I will feed off of your hunger and your sadness. And I don't care what you call me for that, but I didn't vote for this. You did. So when you face the consequences of your own actions, I want to loudly hear you.
All right, I voted for Trump. When are we going to make America great again?
Well, we're working on it.
What are some of the things you're working on?
Well, you're not going to have to worry about paying any taxes on your overtime anymore.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because companies won't have to pay you when you work overtime anymore.
What?
But at least you're not going to have to worry about what happens when you retire.
Well, thank God.
Because without Social Security, you ain't never going to retire.
The fuck?
But on the bright side, you're not going to have to worry about the cost of a good education for your kids.
Okay.
Because without the Department of Education, there's going to be no such thing as a good education.
This is going to sound a little bit harsh, but please hear me out. If you voted for Trump, I most likely want nothing to do with you for the rest of my life. You have taken away honor out of this country, dignity. You have taken justice away. You have taken my peace, my son's peace, for the next 4 years, and most likely beyond. And most importantly, you have taken away the rights of people. People that have always left you the fuck alone and lived their life. But for some fucking reason, it bothers you that they're gonna have rights. Instead of educating yourself and holding your candidate accountable, I had to sit and listen to you people tell me that Hell's Angels was on its way to Colorado. I had to listen to J.D. Vance say he was gonna make stories up if he had to. I had to watch a community shut their schools down. And instead of you people opening your little Trump Bible up and treating every stranger as though they were Christ, you chose that road because it fit the narrative. You see, the whole world has heard Donald Trump on his audio bragging about sexually assaulting women. And after being found guilty by a jury for sexual assault, you turn the cheek again because you have no dignity. And what's really sad is the fact that you have no empathy. When I heard that audio, the first thing I thought about was, man, wonder if he'd done that to my mom. Wonder if he'd done that to one of my nieces. I can't imagine men that have daughters, sisters. But see, you have no empathy. You can't put yourself in the place or in the situation of the family that he affected. We are different. And here's something that really got me. Right here in my home state of North Carolina, as I'm asshole deep in mud after a hurricane, as I am right next to and see all the FEMA help that's there, I see the troops, I see the effort, I see blood, I see tears. I had to sit and listen to that fat, despicable piece of shit lie out of his fucking teeth about what was going on in North Carolina. He lied about Joe Biden not even calling the governors. All that was debunked, but you choose not only to turn the cheek on his lies. I think the saddest part is you were hoping on our downfall. You wanted deaths. You wanted bad news. You want Trump in office so bad, you would have sold out anybody. Well, you sold us out. And I will never forget it. So yeah, we're just too different. You see, I want people to be happy. I want people to have the same rights I have. I don't want a president that's gonna make fun of handicap. I don't want a president that's going to target people by the color of their skin or where they're from. I believe in respect, and I also believe in honor. I believe in protecting women, not sexually assaulting because I'm a celebrity. But you can push all that to the side because you've allowed greed to sell your soul to the devil. And now we all gotta live with it. Because you think, after living in the best economy in the world the past 4 years, during a worldwide recession, and because you're uneducated, you think that's good enough reason. You're good for you and have a good life. I'm gonna stay in my lane. Good luck with you.
Now that the smoke has settled and the dust is cleared and, you know, that feeling of pain and hurt and frustration and anger is starting to kind of go away and phase out. I'm in my phase right now to where I'm like, I don't care what happens. I don't care. Y'all, the last time I felt like this, I was in Iraq when I didn't care. And to feel that way again, I'm so just like numb to what's happening. I don't care. Like, I don't care. When things start going wrong, I don't care. Like, when y'all are needing help, I don't care. Like, y'all gonna see a different side of me, and there's so many people gonna feel this way because we're gonna sit this one out. We tried to tell you, we tried to warn you, we tried to share everything we could have possibly shared, but y'all didn't listen because y'all were too busy worried about grocery prices over actual plans. Y'all were too busy worried about what somebody thought you heard them say without actually hearing what they actually said. So y'all about to find out, and we're gonna sit back and watch. We're gonna sit back and watch this unfold for the next 4 years. And those 68%ers who voted for this, man, you better hope and pray that day one don't happen the way it does. But we're gonna sit this one out. We're gonna watch. We're gonna watch you guys struggle. We're gonna watch you guys come on this app and make videos talking about, I fucked up. I didn't realize this was gonna happen. We tried to tell you, but we're gonna sit this one out because we are in our FAFO phase. I'm gonna call it the FAFO phase because y'all about to FAFO, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So with that said, have an amazing day.
A couple of days ago, a judge, Sean Jordan, just ruled against paying employees overtime. So the deal was that in Texas, if you made more than $35,000, then you would consider it exempt from overtime, right? And anybody that was paid under $35,000 can still get their overtime. Now let's talk about it. You know the president that everybody hates, Sleepy Joe Biden? Yeah, he actually had passed something to raise that minimum cap so that people that were working hard can get compensated for overtime. So I think he had raised it to like 37, and there was another limit when it got to 43. And then it was like a total of 7 years where these caps would slowly rise. That if you made up to $43,000, then you can still qualify for overtime. But this judge just screwed 4 million people out of their overtime. He said no, that the Biden administration had actually overstepped their authority. So, I don't know if you know the difference between exempt and non-exempt. So, exempt employees, right, they're paid a salary regardless of how many hours they work. But it works both ways, right? As long as you get your job done, you're entitled to your salary. But if you end up working 60 or 80 hours, you're not entitled to overtime because you're a salaried employee. And the difference between non-exempt employees, that it doesn't matter how many hours they work, right? They get paid overtime anything after 40. And so that was the ruling. So again, Biden wanted to raise those minimums because it was at $35,000 and he wanted to raise it, in a series of years to go to 43 and then 53, something like that. I'm not exact on the numbers, and the judge ruled against it, screwing 4 million people out of overtime. And here's the twist plot, right? Guess who was the president that appointed him? I'll wait. You guessed. Bingo. Trump. So now when you think Trump is the most wonderful president and you think he's working on your behalf, I just want to remind you, this will be the second time this has come up. The first time Trump voted against having to have companies pay overtime. Now he appointed a justice that did the job for him. So if you're in Texas and you're working really hard, like 60 hours a week, but you make more than $35,000, right? And you don't get compensated for the extra hours, I'm kind of secretly gloating for you. Just thought I'd let you know. So Texas, you done fucked around and found out man is not working for your best interest. But I digress. Bye.
Good afternoon. My name is Brian. I'm reporting live from the FAFO news site. Buck around and find out. If you're joining in with me now, I'd like to share some breaking news. A Trump-appointed judge has now blocked overtime for over 4 million people in Texas. Did you vote for Trump and do you live in Texas? If so, this is a prime example of fucking around and finding out. Thanks for joining me. Stay tuned for more breaking news because I'm sure over the next 4 years, we'll have plenty to report on for all the MAGAs in the United States. And remember my saying, after this election, a lot of us are just going to sit back and just smile.
Today's FAFO story is titled, Am I the Asshole for Calling Off My Engagement After My Partner Revealed He is MAGA? My fiance and I have been together since 2013 when we met in college. He struggled to get a well-paying job and during his long bouts of unemployment must have been radicalized to blame everyone else. I chalked it up to depression and tried to get him help with therapy. I paid for him to return to school to become a nurse too, but he still has not completed the prereqs after 7 years. He currently works gig jobs while I am a nurse in California making close to $400,000 a year working a full-time and a part-time job. I was hoping to save up enough to not have to work after having a baby since I cannot rely on him. We were planning to get married next year and wanted to try for a baby. He knows I am very liberal and all about women's rights. He never openly expressed support for MAGA itself until after Trump won and said Trump will help the economy and finally allow him to get a good job. I told him that it was the easiest time to get a job in the past 20 years in 2021, yet he couldn't. I am not giving in to sunken costs and staying, and he didn't know. But he did make offhand comments before on women losing their worth the older they get, and I questioned him, and he said it was a joke. The past week has been miserable listening to him talk nonstop on how great Trump is and how he will turn everything great again. I had it and gave him notice to leave by the end of the month, and we are through. He said it's unfair and told me it's stupid to give up on us over just politics. The very fact he said that solidified the notion that he is so clueless and our values are too different. He will likely have to move back into his parents' home or be homeless since he makes less than $35,000 a year in the most expensive region in the USA. Am I the asshole for throwing away my relationship of 11 years over politics? I wish politics were boring again. No, you are not the asshole. And this is not a problem of politics. This is a problem of morality.
Are you happy with your decision? Because those of you who are so upset about people deciding to no longer be in your life over political differences, what you do know is happening is that your shock absorbers are leaving in droves. Your emotional regulators are saying you don't have an invitation anymore. All that energy that you were siphoning from them, all that kindness, all that intimacy, all the solutions that they gave to you freely because they made space for you, that's gone. That's gone. That's gone. And I say it's about time. Because you're really afraid of being by yourself. Because when you're by yourself, you don't like what's in here. And guess what's going on now? You are now stuck with other people who also don't like what's in here. And people who don't like what's in here are afraid of looking at themselves. Self-reflection's not a thing. So then addressing your feelings is not a thing, which means that you're dealing with other emotionally unregulated people. And those people who are afraid to deal with their own emotions are not going to give a shit about yours. Too bad. If you practice not giving a damn about anybody else and manipulating people into creating solutions for you, good luck. Because we don't care now. We don't care. What you're going to see now is as we are all surviving this shit, we are going to be seeing those who know how to show up for themselves and ultimately other people, healing, getting wealthier, okay? Making community and spaces and organizations that actually support other people, support growing together, support progression and evolution, okay? Now you can change your mind at any point, but you've got to hold yourself accountable for the decisions you make, and that's another point. You see, when people who constantly show up for you empathize with what you're going through, that made your decisions feel less shitty, right? But now that the decision that you've made has allowed those people to say, I'm going to choose myself instead because you don't care about me, now you have to face the consequences of your actions on your own. And guess what?
It's about time you understand what the fuck accountability means. Get over it.
So ladies, I could go on and on and on with these videos. People are really finding out how serious this is. I don't think there has ever been an election like this that has been so divisive since I've been on this planet, and I'm 41. I was born in 83. So I've never seen anything like this. There is a division. There are lines being drawn in the sand. People are dead serious about not talking to family members. And all I can keep saying to you is arm yourselves in every way possible that you can. Protect yourselves, because the people that are about to be in office are male and they do not care about anything except for the males who look like them, who are in the same tax bracket as them, and that's it. If y'all study history, you know that, like Donald Trump got up and said, history, if you're not careful, if you don't know history, history will repeat itself. Everything that he has said when he speaks in public, he's letting you know what he plans on doing. I know this is why, the way I'm talking right now, I know why my channel has been shadow banned. I know why my channel won't grow. I'm fine with that though. I'm fine with the few women who do hear me, but everything he's saying, he means it. And he has millions of men, Black, white, Mexican, and other, who follow him and who support him. Even though they are fucking around and finding out, they are still going to support him because they are men and he thinks like them, so they identify with him. So ladies, like I said on my last video, if you have daughters who are 10 or older, I suggest you start looking into ways to get them on birth control. I know it sounds crazy. But it's going to get so bad. They're going to start trying to force women to birth children, and not just women. They're going to go for your daughters. It's already happening in different countries. It's already happening here, not legally, but they're doing it here also. So start looking and taking your daughters to the gyno to see what your options are before he gets in there and before he changes the laws and says that they can't get on anything long term. When I say long term, the most you can get on as a teenager, I guess, is maybe 5 to 7 years, the longest you can get on. But for women who have children, if you can get on birth control for longer than that, or even something permanent, like tying your tubes, burning your tubes, clipping your tubes, whatever you got to do, get it done now, because what's going on now, they're going to want women to birth more children. Y'all let me know if you're in any groups with women who are looking at The Handmaid's Tale or have book clubs that talk about this stuff, because I read a lot and I would love to join some of your book clubs. And also, I haven't watched The Handmaid's Tale, but I'm hearing so much about it, but I would like to watch it with some of you. If not, I'll just watch it on my own. But let me know, y'all. That's all I got for this video. I'm going to get out of here. Please share this video. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm about to get off of TikTok. I think all of us are about to get off of TikTok. I don't know. I really think they're going to shut down all social media. And I think that's why we need to come together now as women. We need to share as much as you can. And I think you all who have shared my videos, I don't have a huge page, but I appreciate everyone who does share, and I appreciate the ones who are here. So I will talk to you ladies later. Get down in the comments and let me know what you think about this FAFO season. And have you had to cut off anybody in your life that voted for Trump? Let's talk about it. And I will talk to you ladies later. Bye.
That Bye.